Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Boy, howdy.
You ever?
Did you ever?
Have you?
Did you ever? Have you?
Oh boy, have I.
It's a very loaded question.
We're doing parodies. We're going to kick things off from 1981. Student Bodies is going to be our main attraction today. It's kind of the granddaddy. That and high anxiety. We haven't talked about high anxiety before, but I think that may have predated this one. That's the Mel Brooks Hitchcock parody movie.
Yeah,
but
you gotta tell them what they were calling this month.
Oh yeah, you say it, Andy. You thought of it.
I think we wrapped the month around this pun, but we're calling it Parodies Nuts.
Get it?
Parodies
oh
nuts.
Shit!
I wish I had remembered that's what you wanted to call it. I made a little watermark to put on the art, and it's just a rubber chicken. But Parodies Nuts is I like it. I got 2 tickets to Parodies Nuts.
Anyway.
You think we're the last generation that will understand what Parodies Nuts means?
These nuts?
Yeah.
Or is that still a thing?
No,
No, it'll be. That'll carry on a little further.
Okay.
But not the other thing you just said. What was the other thing you said?
Tickets to Paradise? That's what Kelley was.
Yeah, 2 tickets to Paradise will probably not be a cultural reference anymore, but
No.
these nuts will hang on for a while.
2 tickets to Paradise may not even be like a valid reference now.
I realized the other day.
We're the last generation that will know it.
Yeah.
We're the last generation for so many. We're the last people who, if somebody says, like, if someone goes outside and like, oh, it's windy, we're the last people who will ever go, everyone knows it's windy.
Everyone knows it's windy.
I didn't get it.
Amy's looking at me like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Reference to?
Let me
Do you
tell
know that
Kelley.
song, Windy?
It's that.
Everyone knows it's windy and windy. You guys have never heard that song?
Andy and Amy are on the razor's edge of the difference between your generation and mine, Kelley. Like just on that razor's edge.
So we're judging
That is
generations
a-
by
that is
years
an-
now?
That is
Yeah,
an
apparently.
omnipresent oldie that was
Who-
just
Who's it by?
some oldies bands. Like the,
That doesn't
Sha-na-na.
help.
No.
it's like a
Sha-na-no.
Herman's
It was a
Hermits.
hit. It's a huge hit. It's like Brandy. She's a fine girl,
I love that
right?
song.
If I say that,
Yeah.
if I say Brandy, one of you will say she's a fine
She's a
girl.
fine girl.
All right, well that's another one.
Is a song named Wendy or Wendy?
Wendy.
Windy.
W-E.
No,
Sounds like you're saying Wendy.
No, you
I'm
and
pretty
Kelley
sure
are
it's
fighting
windy.
right now.
Isn't it a girl named Wendy?
I'm pretty sure it's Windy.
Because I thought it was like everyone knows it's Wendy. Because look what Wendy's up to again.
Well, I'm
She's
going
like,
to tell you.
"Giddy." Yeah.
This is the silliest conversation we've ever opened this show with. Oh my goodness, so glad that this show is free.
You know,
Careful, music rights.
It's Windy
It's Wendy.
with an I. Yeah.
Oh shit, that song probably means something completely different to me than it does to you.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think I always just assumed it was a nickname for someone.
Yeah. I think it's just windy.
Windella?
out. They're like, what are you going to write a song about it? All of my shit is blowing across the lawn today. It's windy.
Okay, is it about a girl or just a windy day?
It's about a girl.
It is about a girl. I was right about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's about a girl.
But her name's not Wendy. It's Windy.
Windy, who's walking down the street of the city, who's every she sees,
Yeah.
who's reaching out to capture a moment, Everyone knows it's windy.
I mean, maybe.
Wouldn't it be
this is
amazing if we
vaguely
made this up
familiar,
and we're fucking with both of them?
But I also feel like it's amazing to me that just a couple of years can make such a difference.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the years.
No?
You've been around when it was on
I've been
on
reeling
the
them
radio
in.
stations.
I feel like they deliberately they cut that song off at a certain like they're just like no more.
Yeah, 1980 came around and they burned all the copies.
They were playing that on 94. They were playing that on Warm 98. They probably still play that on Warm 98.
Yeah, you think so?
No, it was too old for them even.
I
maybe
always
not.
heard it on the oldies station.
Warm 98, they're
Oldie
playing
station
songs
for
from the
sure.
90s.
Yeah.
I guess. But
Yeah.
it was definitely omnipresent. If you ever listen to the oldies station ever, you should have come across it.
You make it seem like it was a
time.
gigantic hit.
It was
They had,
huge.
like,
It was a hit.
Like it was like
a
they made movies and toys out of it.
It was,
It was
a
like a
movie.
top-
Wendy the movie.
It was like a top 10 hit for sure in the 60s.
60s.
yeah. 60s.
Yeah, that's when it came out.
1960s.
Late 60s.
So there you go.
Aren't you
Wonderful
glad,
to hear
listeners,
that.
that you were here for this?
I feel judged that they're like,
No, it maybe
No, I'm not judging you.
your
It's
parents
just amazing.
probably just listened to different music than ours did. That's all.
Not that it's the years. It's just like how certain cultural touchstones miss some people and catch other people,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like-
other ones miss. It's just
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
like how you know Benson back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't judge you.
We haven't been on
Everybody knows
Mike
it's Kelley.
It's Candy.
in 2 weeks now. So
Yeah.
how was everybody's Thanksgiving?
Oh, thankful.
That's good.
It's giving. It's giving Thanksgiving.
Gives.
I had a good one.
It gives.
I feel like you had a good one.
Yeah, we had a nice time.
My niece hosted, so all I had to do was make a pie, and Amy made a banana split cake,
I sure did.
and we hung out with my little grandniece who is effing adorable, and her doggy dog brother Carson, big golden retriever, who's also effing adorable. It was pretty
Sorry, I don't want to
pleasant.
interrupt, but Kelley looks so confused right now. He
You
acts-
okay, buddy?
He was so confused he grabbed his chest like, what?
Was it your titties falling off?
No, I'm just looking for the vape pen that was just on my desk.
Isn't it amazing how that works? They disappear. You got
and I
vape
know-
goblins.
I know, I know it's here somewhere. But while I was
Goblins
listening,
like to
I
get
was,
high too.
Yeah.
You were searching. You go back to searching there.
Herba away.
We got it.
Herba,
We got
herba away.
this.
Eat them trolls. So yeah,
Weird.
Thanksgiving was good. I have a torn rotator cuff, which sucks, and I have to have
That does
surgery.
suck.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do everything with my left hand for a while, and that's
Can you
gonna
wipe
suck.
with your left hand?
Well,
do you even wipe
Kinda,
anymore?
sorta. I know I gave it up.
Since you got the no, you have the bidet.
Yeah, you still want to
do
dry
bidet
off at
people
the end.
wipe?
Yeah, you
Yes.
still
yeah,
do a little wiping.
Oh, I
I
thought you
wipe-
just shook off and just put.
No, I full on wipe still. It's just like
No, I just assumed that everybody that used bidets kind of like shook their butts and gave themselves wedgies.
Some people
afterwards.
use a cloth, which I find like I can't bring myself to go that far. Like I still use toilet paper, but some people just use a cloth.
But you just use less toilet paper now, right? Is that
Yeah, very
what the
little.
thing is?
Yes.
Very little.
So now that we've scheduled the surgery, he thought he would test out the
It's
left
tricky,
hand
man.
wiping and left hand turning on the bidet.
because the bidet handle's on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So that sucks.
Do they make left-handed bidets?
I practiced not long ago trying to wipe with my non-wiping hand.
No bueno.
No good. It's such
That
an
is a non-starter, man.
well, it's going to be really awkward because I'm going to have my arm in a sling. My balance is going to be off.
I'll
Well,
help
it's
you.
a chiropractor might help you with that because I think it's kind of how your body has over time just like everything is shifted. I think to a certain position, your hips rotate.
Chiropractor's going to help me wipe.
They're gonna
Well,
twist your body so much
expensive.
They could adjust you so that
that you lean
you
to
have
the
a
left.
better reach. You
Oh,
have
I
better
see.
reach.
I see. Yeah. I don't know. I'm so torn up
Just
inside
have-
right now. I
just
don't know
have
if I
Amy
want to
do
be
it.
adjusted.
Amy, can you come and wipe for
I
him?
have a pretty big tear.
well, okay.
Can you
know,
come and then wipe for him?
Sure. Preferably, I would do things in that order. But I mean, it's I always joke that I mean I don't want to. However, I will come help you get the bidet on.
Yeah.
And then
Even that's something I'd rather not have you have to
I
do.
can come over
I'm
and
gonna do
push
my
your
best.
arm over so you can get more reach out of it.
What about one of the dogs? Can you train one of them to help you
They're
out?
too stupid. What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Or one of
Look at
those helper monkeys. Let's get one
That
of those.
would be
Let's get one of
great.
those.
them. Those are more of a hinder
Do you think by
monkey when you think
insurance?
about it.
We'll cover that.
They kind of fuck your shit up. And you see monkey shines?
Oh yeah, they do.
They're gonna
Ask
fling
William
shit
Cat.
everywhere. Oh. So yeah, Freddie's gonna have his soigery, which means no piano.
Well, no right-handed piano.
No full-on musicking.
Right. It's going to slow me down. I feel like, when you're at the starting line of something and you're like getting your momentum going, then God kicks you in the teeth.
Yes.
But
what a jerk that God is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, that's going to suck. Well, anyways, I just want to say, I don't know how it's going to affect everything.
Pray for me, because
6 weeks in a sling, 6 month to a year
is
recovery.
really going to be tough for me.
Gonna
I won't
blow.
ever do
I
that.
plugged it in.
Oh, he found it, everybody!
The goblins brought it back.
We've got Kelley back now. Yay!
Do you feel like all of your focus just was on that, and now you can finally think about other things?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
You freed some space.
Sorry
up
to
in
hear
his
about your
mind.
surgery. I'm just kidding. I was listening the whole time. I just that was a fun little joke for all of us. But I do know how you feel though. That's how I can't. Every time my foot's been fucked up, I can't play drums. So like if I'm in the middle of working on a project,
You play drums with your feet.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's how they do the hi-hat and the kick drum.
Yeah.
You silly goose.
He's so proud of himself.
So I can relate.
You got to use your hands. That's like a
Silly
baby's toy.
Silly goose. bless your heart.
Oh, Andrew.
Sweet
Now,
Jesus.
I want Amy to tell the story of how she got accosted by. Well, she tried to do a good thing, and it got thrown back on her face this weekend.
This is such a disappointing situation that happened to us on Saturday, and I feel so bad for our friends that were there that brought their young daughter. Boy, did she get to see some stuff in downtown Cincinnati. But we're at Fountain Square. If you've ever been to Cincinnati, it's like a major landmark in downtown Cincinnati. And so we were gonna look at the tree there and then go grab the streetcar and take it to Findlay Market for the Christmas market and have some fucking Christmas cheer. And we're going through, there's this little walk-through tunnel.
It's like a breezeway.
Yeah, like a breezeway. We go in there and there's this man just clearly just lit, either dead or dead asleep, just laying there,
Face down.
homeless looking.
Ass up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we all just kind of walk past because I'm just, God, I feel like shit when I realized I was just going to keep walking.
The tunnel between to 6th Street.
Yeah. And I can tell my mom's not, she's lingering.
She lingered back a little bit.
Yeah.
Mom was with me.
It was really concerning. As soon as we walked past, I was like, is he breathing? That was the thought.
But what I didn't do was go ask him.
Are you breathing?
Right. Are you okay? What I did do was realize my mom was freaking out. There was a cop car there, but no cop in the car. So I just called
She's
my
freaking about the guy.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I just want to keep going. He's probably just sleeping it off. And she's clearly uncomfortable. So then I call 911 and I'm just like, hey, by the way, there's this guy. And I walk back in there and, I realize I haven't said anything to this man at all, which I should have started with that.
No, you did. You asked if he was okay.
Well, when I was on the phone with 911 and I was like, are you all right? And he's like, yeah, go away. Yells at me. So I'm like, okay, well, he's breathing. Anyway, I talk with 911 for a little while and I give them all the details and I'm standing in this little breezeway when the cop comes in and just this big dumb looking bald cop that just looks like a fucking cop.
You have a donut with them?
Practically.
Well, we were expecting EMTs.
Right.
We weren't
Well, this was
cops.
right away after me hanging up. So somebody must have said, hey, where's the dude that's supposed to be looking at Fountain Square? You need to get over there. Anyway, He comes in there and like the first thing he does is just kick the guy.
Yeah, like you know, like
and say, "Hey, buddy,
not
get
hard,"
up.
like the little nudge, you know. But nonetheless, I was just like, the minute I knew that you were on the phone, like when I saw you on the phone, because I didn't realize at first that you had doubled back.
I was just trying,
and so I went back in and I just to make sure, you know, that this guy wasn't like dangerous or anything. And it's not uncommon to see that stuff down there. I worked down there for years. I'm kind of used to it. When I see something like that, to me, it doesn't like
but he just
register
wasn't
as a dangerous thing. But this time it did feel off. There was something off about it. And, but the guy really, I think, was just trying to stay warm.
He was just trying to stay warm and he was just trying to sleep. And I felt like shit because what did I expect was going to fucking happen? I should have just asked him if he was okay. And if he said yes, then I should have just gone on my way. And why didn't I do that? Instead, I got it into my head, like, you know, I got to call the cops. I got to make sure, you know, somebody helps him. But what were they going to do? Of course, you know, fucking dumbass cop just comes in there, kicks him, tells him he has to get out of there.
Yeah.
Just so stupid. It was just so stupid. And then when the guy he's talking to the cop, and he's like, I hear him, and he's like, I told that fucking whore, so I am a whore. Which is kind of funny.
A fucking whore. Like
well, I don't know if he said
that's kind
fucking,
of redundant.
Something
fucking
like
whore. So of course they're fucking.
It was better than bitch.
Well, it could be a whole, you know, in progress versus not fucking. You know what I mean?
Right.
You should have said we don't say that word anymore. We call them sex workers.
Sir, it's sex worker. And that was that. Okay. And that was just a dumb fucking experience.
Was that word that saying no good deed goes unpunished?
It's like,
yeah, but I don't believe that.
I fucked that guy's day up.
But your heart was in the right place.
I guess it was my heart was in my little suburban bubble where I didn't even think about.
It's always complicated. Like those situations are never as simple as you think they are. Like especially. That's why, you know, I'm not fast to call the police in on something because...
I get it now. I'm an idiot. Yeah. I should know better.
Because, you know, I was, you know, and at first I'm like, oh, maybe an EMT is really going to come check this guy out.
I really just thought an EMT would come and make sure he's not, like, currently aspirating, even though he was talking to me. Yeah.
It was scary, though, because the way he was laying there, he could... It did
like face down.
He could have passed out in that position, you know?
Yeah.
And we also saw the dumpy Christmas tree.
We did. It was so weird.
Kelley was so amused. Freddie was so amused by this little squat little tree.
Our tree downtown is usually this kind of like hulking massive thing, and this year it kind of looks like a big Hershey kiss. Like it's all squat. Aww. Yeah, it looks like it got like... You leave it alone. It's like a runt. It's cute, but it was just weird.
He's not impressed, but it is cute.
I mean, I'm impressed, I guess. You know, it's you know how that is. You get used to like a certain vision when you walk around the corner, and then instead you're looking up and you walk around the corner and you're like, what? It's just comical, really.
I thought the tree was thick.
It was very thick.
It was a perfectly cromulent tree.
It got cake.
Yeah, it had a big back end on it. Oh. Anywho, that's Christmas.
Oh yeah, who? Speaking of who day? Or we won a big game this weekend.
Woo! It was a good one too, man. I watched that shit.
I didn't watch, but I like followed along on Reddit like the last quarter or so, and that was very nerve-wracking.
Really no, it was scary. I'll tell you what, man. They do this every god fucking damn time, where they right at the end, they're like, all right, now they started off strong, and then they were like, let's take a nap in the middle of this game, and then they took a nap. But then they got up. They're like, all right. I'm up. All right.
Just like the guy at the Amy woke up.
Did you guys mention this is the Bengals game you guys were talking about?
Fuck yeah.
Sunday. I was just realizing.
Amy said who day.
I don't know if there was enough context clues available
who day?
For the non-sportsman.
You know, it's just nice to see him beat the Chiefs again. There's no flukes here. It wasn't a like, what? We belong
to the night.
To the night.
We belong. Yeah, it was great. Fun to watch.
Just like other people doing it.
Exactly like that.
Unless it's a family member. Origins is out.
Yes.
We talked about Clue.
Yep.
We talked about Lost Boys of the Thirst.
The movie from the 80s, not Clue Gallagher.
Yeah, Clue, the movie. The Clue Gulager story. Clue. And we talked about perfume and cologne. Pretty interesting conversation, really. Also, we have Freddy's versus Jason's on there. Check those out. Should be a new one of those coming soon.
Patreon.com/NOTLP.
And Topicana. And I'm putting you guys in the hot seat this week. So
does that mean?
My butt.
We've done it once before already. Remember, you don't know what the question is till you're in the room, and then we'll have questions from the decks.
Like I like to do,
like you like to do.
Oh, he's stealing my thing.
I was in so much pain today that I couldn't think. I could not think of a question other than like, will you cut off my arm for me?
Sure.
That was going to be my Topicana for one point.
I'll happily do that.
And you and Kelley have some new music to plug, don't you?
That's right. Kelley, Obliging Victims.
Yeah. There's
I love that song.
I have a new single. It's 2 songs though. I feel like I should stop really. I like when I get new music and it's a single, I like to be surprised to find there's a B-side on it, like a second song. But I don't know if people always know. They just see the first one. Anyway, I have a song. It's called Cryptozoologist, and then A Seance Gone Wrong is the B-side, which is an instrumental. It's about cryptozoology. You should like it. Probably a lot of you like that. Go listen, and it's upbeat. Go listen to it.
It's good shit.
Like it's very good shit. The Obliging Victims on
There's all kinds
streamings.
On that artist page in general. Kelley has a lot of good shit. I love your art.
Thank you.
You got a great vibe. Great vibe.
Your son.
Yeah. What's your song, Freddy?
My new song is First Grade Winter Break, which we were talking about. We're going to play it at the end. We were going to play it at the end of the show. You gave me that idea last time.
Go for it.
Yeah. And then maybe next week we should play Kelley's song at the end of the show.
The First Grade Winter Break, good for a spooky season. We're to bring the spooky Christmas out.
I was going to suggest the Windy song.
Everyone knows it's windy.
No one knows but you guys.
Mm-hmm.
No one.
Want all of my artists
a very obscure song, Windy,
to redirect to a Windy MP3.
No, we're going to cut to them, and it's going to be Freddy and Kelley just playing with the snow globe that says Windy in it.
Are we going to replace Rickrolling with Windying?
I don't think it'll catch on.
You're right.
Windying.
Are you guys ready?
Apparently it's not the cultural references I thought it was, but
Watch, we'll get a bunch of emails because we get so many.
I hope so.
Everybody be like, "Why the fuck? That's the song I danced to at my wedding."
That'd be a weird first dance.
You really haven't heard it.
I assume it's not romantic.
Oh, it's fun. It's upbeat. It's a very upbeat. It's a joyful song.
Yeah, it makes
like
a
5 o'clock
joyful
world.
sound.
Good.
You want to talk about your movie?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight-to-video Russian roulette.
You probably don't speak the language of this trailer, so I'm going to just let it fade off into the background.
Yeah.
I think said last time it's from Taiwan. This movie is Incantation. It's an interesting one. It's a found footage, and there's some really good stuff in it, but it's also a little bit confusing as fuck.
No.
Is it because of the language barrier? Or
No, we watched the version I watched. Was that Netflix?
Netflix is dubbed.
It's dubbed.
I don't know. I didn't check to see if they had the original language.
It just played dubbed, and I didn't change it, so I didn't even look because I was tired, and I was like, "This is probably easier on my brain." So that wasn't really an issue, unless the translation sucked. So then I can't do anything about that. But I was really confused, and Freddie watched it with me. Were you confused?
Yes.
Okay.
It was like one of those things where it was. it went a little too far on the vague side. They never, and it's that fine balance of wanting not to be spoon-fed things, but also wanting something definitive, at least in what's presented as clues, kind of that give me enough to piece together a meaning.
Right, like their student bodies, which we'll talk about later, which will put copy up on the screen to tell you you're looking at a clue, versus this movie where I'm truly not really sure what really happened. In that, there's a lot of it I enjoyed. So, being utterly confused at the end was disappointing.
Was it because it was, how like some found footage, they're very dark and can't see what's going on? Was that the case here?
This was story problem.
It was story issues. I wasn't really sure what they were trying to do. So the main story is there was this woman. She had a baby and hasn't been with that baby for 6 years. That child has been in foster care because mom was getting over
some sort of mental break.
You think. And just now she is getting custody of her daughter, and they're going to start building a life together and, be together. And she starts talking about a curse, and then you get flashbacks. One of the biggest problems with this movie is I don't know when we're in a flashback and when we're not.
Is it all told in found footage?
Yes.
Like even the flashbacks?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the woman, she's part of a ghost hunting crew that film.
They call themselves the Ghostbusters.
They're the Ghostbusters. And they have a YouTube channel or whatever, and they're going to... Huh?
They're going to get slapped with a cease and desist.
Yeah, if it was real.
I mean on their YouTube channel and in the fictional world.
In the fictional world.
That would have been a good B storyline that Bill Murray was showing up to sue them or something.
That would have been nice.
And then he was just waiting at the airport and no one picks him up because they're all dead.
Her and her two, well, one is her boyfriend. The other guy is just a friend. The three of them are the ghost hunters. They're going to the boyfriend's family's, it's a rural village where they have a temple where they do rituals and have ceremonies at this temple for the Mother Buddha that they worship.
Did you have the impression that they didn't live there full time, that they came back to this village
just for these rituals?
Yeah, that it's like a camp that they go back to every 10 years. Because the best part of the movie for me was the camp, the way it was constructed.
Yeah, these village. Yeah, it was really cool. This village.
It was like a multi-tiered kind of built out of found materials village, which I'm sure, is a real thing. But it felt like if you ever played like Resident Evil 4, I think it was, it kind of had the feeling like that. Like it's corrugated, bits of corrugated tin and stuff for roofs. Everything is kind of ramshackle and put together, but it also feels lived in at the same time. Like it's
cozy.
Been... Yeah, well, is it kind of actually cozy? Yeah.
So what they want to do is somehow get into this tunnel that's part of the temple or the sacred area, and because
temple tunnel.
Because it's supposed to be haunted or something. I don't really remember.
Why they weren't allowed in the tunnel?
Well, no, I know why they're not allowed. I don't remember what they were saying at the beginning, like why they wanted to get in there. Anyway, and they end up, desecrating the temple, and some crazy supernatural shit happens. So
what's the curse?
Well, because they did this to the temple, she believes, this is, and then, horrible things start happening to her and her daughter. And there was some really cool, spooky shit.
It was a good movie.
And I love found footage. Like, if this was just a regular movie, and I would have been probably angrier at it, but I think the found footage kind of elevated it for me a little bit.
Was it confusing because they kept going back and forth between the timelines? Or?
Yes, but there was no real delineation. In one, I thought one scene progressed from the past into the future, and I was so confused.
Right, it was real hard to tell when you were.
Confused.
They should have had her different hair length or something.
She was always in a ponytail with bangs. So it was never not that.
She should have had longer hair in the past or something.
Right.
Something.
She looked like the same age because it's the movie.
And they're Asian too, and we never age.
Asian don't raisin.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And then they're okay, if I say what movie it's like, it's a spoiler, so I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You know what I'm thinking of? That other one, that other big.
Yeah, I think it was worth watching though.
It is worth watching. But maybe, if somebody wants to explain it to me, that's fine.
And I bet it could be us. Like, you know what I mean? Like me and Amy were probably like thinking about like what's in the pantry.
Oh yeah, we were
watching
hungry.
this. So
I was probably.
I love that
sleep.
movie. That's a good one.
It's a good one. Cheez-Its.
What's in the pantry?
It's mostly Cheez-Its.
Colon Cheez-Its.
Love a Cheez-It. Can't eat them anymore,
Can't
but I
eat them
love
anymore.
They don't do a keto Cheez-It yet.
But we can make one.
Yeah, just
cheese.
smell some cheese.
We're gonna try and make some, but I do miss Cheez-It. A nice
We bought
packaged.
the extra toasted kind.
Are they crispier?
Mm-hmm. They're more dark.
Yeah,
They spend a little more time in the
burnt-y.
oven.
I quite
Yeah.
like it. It's
Mm-hmm.
Got a little bit of a richer flavor. Yeah.
Yes.
A Richard flavor?
A Richard flavor.
That's Richard if I've ever tasted anything.
I sign off on that.
Did you also, Freddie, going back to Incantation just for MO, did you feel like there were moments where I don't know where that camera was supposed to be? There shouldn't have been a camera getting that angle.
There were moments where they were cheating.
They cheated.
They cheated the medium a little bit.
I see you, Incantation.
I mean, it wasn't like I always forgive that because I always think like movies are almost like
so
a
hard.
fantasy to begin with for me. So I go into movies thinking, okay, I'm submitting myself to a complete and total fantasy world. So I don't hold the movie to like found footage rules anymore.
Yeah, so
I've
you
given up on that.
You never have like the moments like while you're recording those moments?
No,
like,
not anymore.
Put the camera down moments?
That's a waste of energy as an audience
I don't do that
member.
either.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
you
you're
don't you
right.
feel
Like,
like, why put my energy into that?
Yeah.
That was the writer's job. They know why the character's doing it. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
Also breaking the fourth wall, breaking narrative expectations. Like sometimes that's the best thing ever. Like what they did with the most recent Barbarian. With Barbarian. Like there's things I love when you think you're in for one thing and then they give you a whole different thing. But this movie,
Incantation.
the problem with Incantation was they weren't breaking any new ground, but they left a lot of connective tissue out, right? It made it just kind of milky. I
And
started to say
didn't
milky.
somebody jumps off a building and but
Murky.
then climbs back up and is fine.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
There was no explanation for it.
Yeah.
I understand.
So maybe I am more frustrated than I thought I was. Anyway, Incantation.
Is it
on Netflix.
recommend?
If you like found footage and you like Asian horror, because this fits neatly within
folk horror.
Yeah. Yes. Very
I mean,
much so.
You were confused, but you were entertained.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
And there's parts of it that are actually pretty
I think
moving
it's like
too.
that's all a movie can do for you. It's entertain you.
All right. So it's a recommend.
I don't ask much for movies.
It's a rectum mend.
It's a rectum end.
Rectum end.
It's a real rectum end. That's funny.
Barry Noah's end.
Hardly.
That's for Shayna. I'm throwing puns out
Aw.
since we don't say noose and feedback.
Noose. All right. Well, let's see what's up next.
Yeah, what is up next?
It's on Shudder. It's called Slashback.
Oh,
another
boy.
pun.
You like it? When Micah and her ragtag friends discover an alien invasion in their tiny Arctic hamlet, it's up to them to save the day. Utilizing their makeshift weapons and horror movie knowledge, the aliens realize you don't mess with girls from Pang.
Oh, this sounds fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's see who's gonna watch
Cute.
it.
Looks cute.
Sounds like a kind of it's kind of like an Attack the Block, but
Aliens and ragtags.
And the Arctic.
Oh, is it me?
It's
Yeah,
you,
It's
Andy.
me. I'm the problem. It's me.
It is you.
Taylor Swift reference right there.
Congratulations, Andy. This
Is
is
it called
Andy's
Flashback? You said.
Slash.
10th nomination.
I'll write that down right
First
now.
Better write that down. What'd you say, Freddie?
Nothing important.
Good. I wasn't listening.
Fine then.
All right.
Hello, it's me, the heavy breather from every horror film you've ever seen. You know me. First I terrorize my victim by the telephone. Then I choose my murder weapon. A gun? Nah, too easy. A hatchet? Nah, I always use a hatchet. For this movie, I want something very frightening and deadly.
It's the paperclip.
Motherfucking paperclip.
It is.
So there's more to that, but you can watch that on YouTube.
Student bodies.
Student bodies.
I had never seen this.
It's fun. Me neither.
You know, I have to say, I watched this a lot as a kid.
Me too.
It was constantly on TV.
Were you scared of it?
A little bit.
Me too.
Because I was a child, but still.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the second half of this movie because, man, did they drop the ball.
It's chaos. It becomes so nightmarish.
At one point, they just gave up.
A bit in the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still fun.
Yeah, it's still like up until that point, I had so much fun. I lolled.
I lolled as well.
I lulled as well, and even there are still a few good. We'll get into it. There are still a few good like lines here and there, even through that last little bit. But I described it to. I watched it today on my extended lunch break, and I described it as like if Mad TV, or not Mad TV. Sorry, if Mad Magazine had made Scary Movie, but in 1981 with the references.
That's a great description, Kelly.
Yes,
really is.
That's really what
done
it
and
felt
done.
like.
Yeah. We know it's Mickey Rose, who was Woody Allen's writing partner before Woody Allen broke off and did his own thing. He's the Art Garfunkel.
I didn't know that.
Have you ever seen? I think it's called "What's Up, Tiger Lily." I want to say I think they wrote that together. That's really funny. That's where they take I think it's a Chinese action movie and they overdub it. It was like Mystery Science Theater before Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah,
it's good shit.
Well, I'm not gonna watch that.
But yeah, this movie is what we figured out. It was during a strike. They made this.
Yeah, there was a Writers Guild strike, I guess, at the time.
Maybe like
so that's why
the strike was happening in the second half of the movie or something.
I think so. There's an Alan Smithy on there because the producer didn't want to get in trouble with the Writers Guild.
Oh, I thought that was part of the
the joke.
The joke,
yeah.
No, it was real.
No, it was for real reasons.
I think it's pretty clear they got a lot of non-union actors, and you can look. These people never did anything else. You know, this was what they did this one time.
Was this high school? You know what's funny is I was just watching something else that had Nancy Reagan High School in it.
Yeah,
I think it was Wednesday on a Netflix. But I was just remembering, I was like, what was the name of the high school in this? And my brain filled in Nancy Reagan. And I think that's why. It's not Nancy Reagan High School. I don't remember what they called the high school.
It was
the Throat Goat.
The Throat Goat.
That's Nancy Reagan.
It was the Lamab.
Lamab because...
Lamab, right.
The fucking IMDb trivia is so great because this movie was so haphazardly done that it was supposed to be Lamar High School and they did all this stuff and like already had stuff like painted and they had to change it because that was a real high school.
Lamab.
So they just closed off the R. You can see it on like signs at the football game and shit. They just clearly just painted it Lamab.
That makes it even better.
I know, I love that.
I like how, well, like you said, they weren't just non-union actors and like they probably only did that one thing. I think it added to the chaotic charm of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, well, your lead was it Kristen Ritter or Ritter? I'm not sure how she pronounces it, but this is the only movie she ever made. The one who plays Toby,
the lead.
I thought she was real good. What's funny, the one guy who's humming as he's getting ready in the bathroom, the first guy, that guy was pretty good too. I thought he's a good actor. He was cracking me up, just like humming as he's like taking a shower and he's singing to himself and shit.
Yeah, I felt like everybody in this gave like really fun performances.
Yeah, you can tell that they actually cared a little bit.
Yeah,
they tried.
It was a real comedy. Like they had, these were like real comedic actors who, this is probably, if they weren't doing it on film, they probably were part of troops or whatever, you know.
The writing was real clever. I mean, a lot of the jokes I thought were like in that absurdist kind of way.
Yes.
There's a lot of fun wordplay.
And then there's moments where it feels so inappropriate and like of its time. There's moments that just are like, they feel weird simply because the content of the scene itself, you know, like the shop, there was some stuff with the shop teacher. I don't even remember specifically what.
His horse head bookends.
Is it the stuff that he was saying to the exchange students?
Yeah, that was a lot of it. They treat this,
but I felt it fit the character.
Yeah,
this the doofus guy.
Well, there was also some
was that Marlon
stuff.
Brando's brother?
What
was that? Marlon Brando's brother?
Wait, what?
I don't.
Just because his last name was Brando.
Is his last name?
But
Brando?
he looked the.
You're talking about the shop teacher?
Yeah, I was watching his face. He has a lot of Marlon Brando-y kind of affectations and stuff in his.
I think.
Well, I don't know. A lot of these characters were so gross. You gotta love them. Well, first of all, you have
gross, as in physically gross.
Yeah,
or?
no, the way they act, the way they are.
It's very trauma-esque.
Yeah,
like, it's what you kind of the same vibe you get where it's
very
cheap,
much
grimy.
Just less gory. I mean, less nudity, less
Mm-hmm.
action. You know, there's like no actual nudity in it, and really any blood either.
It's kind of a wholesome horror movie spoof, but one of my favorite bits in the whole movie.
Kinda.
when Toby is dressed up in the hot mama outfit and she's used
but the bad
balloons.
Sandy.
Yeah, she's getting nice balloons.
Yeah. She's supposedly used balloons in her bra to make her look like she has boobs. And every once in a while you hear the rubber squeaking together. This is very funny.
Well, the setup to student bodies, right? It's typical teenagers having sex. Slasher kills them for it. Except this guy calls them in a Peter Lorre style voice, speaking through a rubber chicken to disguise his voice.
And he's called the breather
because he breathes heavy,
or chicken lips.
I love how they don't waste. You know, you watch these slasher movies of the era, and there's the moment between the killing, but this movie will be the funeral for one character is the murder scene of another. Like everything overlaps, and for the ending of this movie to be revealed to be a dream makes so much sense, like for what you just experienced, because it feels like a complete nightmare.
Wait, was it all a dream?
A funny nightmare. Yeah, at the end.
Because they were all different characters at the end.
Yeah, but didn't somebody get murdered at the end too?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She got
Toby gets murdered.
Toby got murdered, but then she did a carry on him. It doesn't really matter.
Because they're ripping off, because they're making fun of all the movies that had just kind of, you know.
Well, okay. So what are we riffing on? We got the Black Christmas.
You got Halloween.
Carrie, Halloween, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
When a Stranger Calls.
You barely have Friday the 13th at this point.
Yeah, that's true. How were they already?
If at all. So I think that this is.
Well, they reference it.
Did they reference Friday the 13th?
Literally with the captions.
Yeah, with the captions
like at the beginning
on the house. You know, the exterior.
Oh,
of the
that's
house.
right. It says Halloween. Oh, that was a great where it's the gobbles over Halloween. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Yeah, so the sounds are wrong for the different holidays.
And the caption, and it was Friday the 13th. And the caption, it was Jamie Lee Curtis's birthday.
Jamie Lee Curtis's birthday.
Yeah.
These are people who love those movies. Like, you have to see them, know them, understand them.
Well, yeah, but
to
also,
spoof the way.
Don't you feel like this is also very airplane-y? Like, it feels like
on top of spoofing horror movies, they just threw in a lot of throwaway, absurdist humor. And those are my favorite parts. Like, just the dumb stuff that didn't have anything to do with the horror movies.
What did she say about the frogs' penises? She's like, now let's get rid of all those pesky little frog penises.
That was hilarious.
She erased the penis on the anatomy drawing that she had made on the chalkboard too.
See, those jokes have nothing to do with horror movies.
Yeah,
and they're just
very
jokes.
Funny.
But they I could see the writers maybe wanting to make you think she's the killer too. With
everybody had to be a suspect.
Everyone has sexual dysfunction.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Of some kind. The horsehead bookends thing is the thing that'll stick with me for this.
But when you think about the deaths in the movie, they're kind of horrific.
Yeah.
I mean, the first girl got stabbed to death over and over again with a paperclip. And when
they were all over her.
But when you do the mental gymnastics that are happening, that's pretty awful.
And then they suffocate all the dudes in garbage bags.
And then the second girl that was killed at the first victim's funeral, did she get raped to death by a horsehead bookend?
By a horsehead bookend. I think that's what they insinuate.
Yeah, because her legs were spread at the back of the car. Oh, my
Amy
God.
referred to this as wholesome earlier, which I was still trying to figure out where she had that idea.
That didn't occur to me.
I mean, it didn't show anything.
Her eyes were crossed, though.
But that's the funny thing about that's the actress's IMDb picture that shows up of her with her legs spread open,
with her eyes crossed. The staging is hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's so goofy.
Everybody in this movie they're like about to have sex, but I gotta go get.
But they're all.
I think
all the victims are fully clothed. Like we don't see any nudity, like Kelley says.
Yeah.
But we did see like the horsehead bookend. It's bloodied at the end.
Well, I don't know. I think he beat her to death with it. You're thinking something darker than what?
But like, at one point, like there's a scene where she has her eyes across, like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe you're right.
Maybe.
And like the way they found her bodies, like she was still her legs spread open.
Well, she was waiting for him to come back with a rubber.
So, oh God, when that was so funny that guy had, not that one, it was the other guy, the military guy. Because there's so many moments of men, like young men trying to get laid in this.
It's like there's so many running jokes
in
this throughout the movie. And one of them is that the guys are never prepared.
Never. Yeah, they have to run and get a rubber.
Get a rubber. That's like an old term to call it a rubber, to leave the girls by themselves to get murdered.
I love the ROTC guy has his rank tattooed on both his arms, and he also had it on the rubber that he brings back. It has a little sergeant.
That was a fun character too.
Little rapey. All the men were rapey.
But the actor, I mean, was like, I felt like did a real nice job. Like I felt like that was a real character.
It was funny. I mean, everybody in this is so really fucking great. I love the guy who reminds me of Bob Kelso, who plays the principal.
Principal's fantastic.
It appears that was not Marlon Brando's brother. I thought we had a Frank Stallone situation because the breather goes by Richard Brando, but that is not that actor's actual name.
Oh.
So it turns out that was just a nom de plume.
You know, there's comparisons made to Scream, but then I think about how much the principal here and the principal character that Henry Winkler plays in Scream, they're very similar.
I think there
was probably
Oh, go ahead, Kelley.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm sure that Wes Craven and them were also aware of this movie. You know what I mean? They're.
I think the principal and the student bodies, they were going for a psycho thing, where like overbearing mother and the sexually oppressed.
Oh my God! You just reminded me of the therapist scenes. Mm-hmm. Those are that shit where he offers her the tissue box and says, "Sorry,
and he keeps offering her things that aren't tissues
to wipe her eye." Yeah.
At one point, it's a pipe. And it's the absurdist stuff. That's what I like.
I love that. Like, she was filling
call
the
me
pipe.
Daddy.
Yeah.
He just keeps telling her to call him different things.
Or when he slams his chair into the wall when he gets up.
When he gets up.
For no reason, just goes bam.
He just leans back in his chair all the way. Oh my God, that fucking killed me.
Those are the best moments of the movie.
There's some great moments.
But I was impressed that they had, like, Scream had like 20 more years of movies to riff on.
Yeah.
And tropes to go for. But this one, like, slashers became popular in like the mid 70s, late 70s. Right. And this was 81. So they had a lot less of references to go off of. So I was impressed that, you know, they pulled so much, considering they had less to work with.
You know what? This movie might be fucking genius. I was ready to say, listen.
The first 2/3.
It's kind of messy.
Like the last third of the movie, I felt they just stopped trying.
Yeah.
There was a different standard in comedy then too, where if you made a comedy movie, it didn't necessarily have to be a real movie if it had enough jokes in it.
But that maybe that was a problem. Like there were still jokes in the last third, but they didn't work as well as the first 2/3.
Right. Or they were spread out.
Yeah, and scenes went on a little too long in the last act. Like the scene with the Razzi guy and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
That whole scene was like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went definitely some junk in there.
Yeah, the pacing, because again, there are good jokes in that last, I don't know, quarter of the movie, but they're spaced out super far between, and like Andy said, everything goes on too long. Some of the setups and kind of gags aren't as well
the
thought
guy
out
like
as
farted
earlier.
himself out of that room.
It was the dead body.
I love a fart joke.
It blew the wrong way. Me and Amy both looked at each other like he should have blown the other direction because his ass was on the other end of the bed. Farted a skeleton right out of his body, right out the window.
It is real. It is a very silly movie. It's very fun.
I don't know why that's hitting me so hard right now.
And it's like I liked how every character was a buffoon in this movie.
Yeah,
like even the teachers and like the students, everybody had their moments of just dumbness.
Very scary movie. Like I think the Wayans really drew on this a lot.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's
Are these dudes like making movies still?
Well, the one if you watch 227 and Amen and all that.
Yes, I did. Love
yes,
them.
you know those brand new shows that are still out right now.
I mean, they did.
So they're definitely still working.
They're probably older now.
I should have phrased that differently, but yeah. Well, Mickey Rose obviously did not have the success of Woody Allen.
Alise. Alise got home from work.
But he also didn't have all the controversy.
She is home from work.
But yeah, you would probably, it's all TV stuff that you're going to know them from, the creators of this. Anyways, yeah.
The creators.
The creators.
The creators.
People who made this thing. Aww.
Sorry, we're looking at Kiki too. We're very busy right now, listeners. Just take a break. Anyway.
But Freddie, you said there were some moments where you're like, that's of the time. But I felt they could have gone even grosser with that.
Oh, it could have been much worse.
Yeah, but because there was like some gay jokes, but they weren't treated as like, ew, he's like a mincing gay. They were kind of throwaway jokes. They just mentioned like, here's the king and queen of the parade.
Yeah, and
the queens, the boy queen.
The boy queen.
Yeah, the boy queen.
Yeah, they really weren't mean.
Yeah, and at the end where it's revealed, like when she wakes up from her dream, and the characters are the total opposite of the characters in her dream, and the Razzi guy turns out to be like a gay dude, but he wasn't like mincing, like hey, like that type of thing.
But I think more my
he was letting that little
cringe moments.
neckerchief do a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it wasn't like. They could have gone like more,
but they may have shown restraint there. But as far as like the ableist part of the movie, they literally they cover like every disability at some point. It seems with a joke.
But those I laughed a lot at those.
I did too.
Jokes.
I laughed. I mean, like
I for sure did.
I'm just saying though, like it doesn't. You don't currently. You wouldn't create a new comedy where that material is present.
Would it be offensive? Like, there's a blind guy in the movie, and his seeing eye dog is driving for him. Would that be? Could they get away with that joke now?
I don't think so. I think it's hilarious.
I think it's still funny. I don't think it's a mean joke. I think it's an absurd joke.
That a seeing eye dog is driving. That's
a dog.
That's
is
not
driving.
mean.
It's hilarious to me. I'm talking about like your general John Q Twitter freak is going to lose their shit over that. You know.
Were they going off of that Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder movie?
I love that movie.
Is that what
that hadn't come out yet?
Oh, was it? So
that didn't come out till like 85.
Also, they stole this movie from student bodies.
Yeah, just because of that one little pair up.
Well, the guy there was a black guy and a white guy.
See,
how'd you feel about
and one
like
of them was blind and one of them was?
And the guy in the wheelchair always took advantage of the blind guy by making bets with him and then telling him that these things happen. When he couldn't see the outcome to know that he had lost the bet. So that was a good running gag. I love Stickman, the janitor.
The Stick.
Yeah. The Stick. There we go.
That's the guy's credited that's his name, The Stick.
Amy looked him up.
Yep.
Because he had such an interesting like
Malbert.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like the Doofy character from Scary Movie?
Yeah, seems like it. Remember, he got hit from both directions.
Yeah.
And that turned him from, he was like a science teacher, and now he's a janitor. Which is a joke that I had heard later somewhere else where somebody says, did you know that janitors are just science teachers that hit their head? That was like a joke that used to go around. Do you remember that?
No.
I wonder if this is where it came from.
But I believe you.
Do you believe me? You don't believe I'm telling this truth to you? Now, my line?
I think they don't believe you, but I do.
The the opening was very Scream, FYI.
Yeah.
I wanted to circle back to that. But what was great was when the parents come home, they don't know the babysitter's dead yet.
Oh, that was so funny.
But the woman just screams at everything in the house. Oh, it's so hard to like explain this.
Well, the joke. She sees that the dishes aren't done. She's like,
75 cents an hour.
Yeah, the dishes aren't done, and like
75 cents an hour.
She left the TV on.
I'm mad at the babysitter.
But when she discovers the body, she's like, oh. Like there's no reaction.
Yeah. And then at the funeral for the girl, she pays them the babysitting money.
Yeah,
exactly.
but she says it's 65 cents an hour. She shortchanges them. Like.
Yeah, that was so fucking sick.
This movie just had some really good.
Do you regret not buying it now? Amy
No.
only rented it, so you don't want to watch it over and over again. So I think that's a better gauge.
It's not Clue.
Yeah. So you want to own Clue. This movie you want to have a passing one night stand with.
Yeah.
This movie is
it'll hit a streaming service again, and I'll go, hey.
Yeah.
I found it offensive that we had to pay to rent this movie.
Really?
I feel like
anyone who needs the money.
I know, but any movie, I think
Shudder
everything should be available to us for free, at streaming services at least.
Feels that
For
way.
free.
Most of it is. You just have to watch ads. Man, I've been watching old episodes of Thriller from 1972 or 3. Whole series is out there.
I started watching Too Close for Comfort on Tubi.
Oh, I didn't know that was on there.
Monroe.
Love that show.
Yeah, it's there.
We had Van Valkenburg on this podcast.
For the Warriors.
Yeah, she was one of the daughters on Too Close for Comfort.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not there for that. I wish I had been, because it would have turned into Too Close for Comfort.
Well, it did. I actually was like, I was in love with you, the little boy.
Freddie.
Because that's what guys say.
You like Van Valkenburg better than the other sister, Lydia?
I have to go back and watch it again. It's on Tubi.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Too Close for Comfort at all?
No.
Not a single episode.
No.
And you know what the theme song of that show was?
No.
It's windy.
Essentially.
Wouldn't it be funny if that's what it was? It's not.
It would be funny. It's not.
I'm feeling attacked right now. Student bodies. Anything else we have to say about it?
Student bodies.
No, what are we doing next week?
I don't know.
Galaxy Quest.
I know you guys
right?
were talking Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Is that considered a parody?
Galaxy
Are we
Quest.
Yeah, I think it's.
I would consider that a parody.
All right.
We make the fucking rules. It's not. It doesn't have to be
True.
a parody. It has to be parodies nuts.
Parodies nuts.
Parodies nuts. Yeah.
And Condor, if you're listening, can you tell us if we've done Galaxy Quest already?
Yeah,
I
Connor, let
looked.
us
I didn't
know.
see it. I looked on our.
Andy
page.
thought we did, and we were like, nah. And Andy doesn't believe it.
I definitely don't remember doing that.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie. That's why Alise has never seen it, and we were going to watch it, and then I was like, oh shit, that could work for the show.
Yeah, I always have a hard time defining what a parody is, but I don't think about it a lot. So when you said I think it's because I like Galaxy Quest so much.
It's more of a spoof.
That it's above.
Right.
It's above parody to me. It's like better.
No,
than
I
that.
get what I mean. I used to get annoyed when people would call like the Cornetto trilogy spoofs or parodies. I would say Galaxy Quest is more of a spoof, and again, it's kind of a straight up. It's very it's Magnificent Seven or some such. Not really Well, anyway, you know what it is. You know what time it is.
This guy digs it the most.
But. It counts enough.
Yeah,
I want to watch it.
Hey,
yeah,
it's
I'm
our
excited.
fucking show, man.
And we can do what we want. I can redefine the word parody under my own fucking roof.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, we're going to say hi to our Beelzebubs at the end of every show. We always say hi to them. Patreon.com. /NOTLP. And if you want to be a Beelzebub, we'll say your name too. All right, guys, I'm just going to read these names.
All right.
No funny business.
Okay.
No funny business.
Alise. Lynn Walsh.
Oh, Kelley, right out again.
No, because Alise should be exempt as your lady wife.
Oh, boy.
All right, you can say it. Say it.
Oh, she's just standing right next. I was going to.
Well, God damn it. Lynn Walsh, Alyssa, Branan and Emily, Jeffel, Dustin, Iona Goodwin, Dr. Brian, Bill, a.k.a. Jerk Bitch Boat. We got Bill Farner. We got Blake, Blayne, Yogurt, Jordache Jeans, Paul, Jeremy, and Cassie, and Gamora, Ernie, Dave Siebert, Michael Burns, and Monica.
Thank you.
We done did it.
We done did it.
And here's that song I told you about at the beginning of first grade winter break. If you search any of the streaming services for that, Freddy Morris with a Y, you can add it to your playlists.
It's on Spotify. Good for holiday playlist.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Sorry, kiddo, we'll get you one for your birthday. Wouldn't you rather play G.I. Joe and eat snowflakes? They found his car on the side of the mountain, and your clothes muddy and strewn on the ground. Mother and I pray every night they don't find you. We like to believe the worst of this winter's behind you. They found his car on the side of the mountain. Your clothes muddy and strewn on the ground. Mother and I pray every night they don't find you. We like to believe the worst of this winter's behind you.